I think it's probably the greatest play that's ever been set to music.
Some of the most sublime music ever written.
The way that this one is so faithfully, the libretto is almost a translation into Italian of Beaumarchais' Le Mariage de Figaro. And it's so tight and so economic, and in a sense I think it's the greatest coming together of theatre and music. And that's what we as a company are trying to achieve.
Everyone knows the overture to Marriage of Figaro, and from that moment you're right in. And I mean, the thing that I really like about it is that not many Mozart operas start like that. You know, they usually start with these big, grand, slightly pompous chords, whereas this one, it's absolutely nothing from the beginning, and you're straight into the drama straight away. And the way that we've staged it here at Wilton's is as if we're watching a film.
So we thought if we start with that style, and then literally rip the screen away and we have the same actors in the little opening film that we have, carrying on the same scene, but all that happens is it changes from 2D to 3D, from filmed action to live action, and the acting style is then set up for us.
In the previous Beaumarchais play, The Barber of Seville, I was in charge of the town gossip, and I was making assignations and putting people together and matchmaking, all that kind of thing, and which is where I met the Count. The Count came to Seville looking for love, and I set him up with Rosina, to whom he is now married, and I now work for him at his country estate. And this opera is set on the day of my wedding to Susanna, who is the Countess's chambermaid.
Well, first of all, this is the first time I've ever sung at Wilton's Music Hall, and it's a really fantastic atmospheric venue to put on a piece like The Marriage of Figaro. I have sung this role before in Italian and in English, but it's nice to revisit it singing in Italian.
Countess Almaviva is, she's about 20 years old. She hasn't been married for very long, and in The Barber of Seville, which is the play preceding The Marriage of Figaro, she was wooed and bowled over by the Count, with whom she fell in love, married, and moved into his great big giant house. 3 years on, she feels abandoned, miserable, and the Count's off chasing the chambermaids and anything in a skirt. And she's, at the beginning of the opera, just starting to wonder where it all went wrong.
It was a collection of friends, people we knew were young and talented and were looking for an opportunity to take part in something a little bit different. Also, you know, a couple of seasoned professionals that happened to be available and agreed, thank God, to do it. And they add a wonderful kind of cross-section of talent, where we have a young girl who's never been on stage. She's never even sung with an orchestra before this week.
I'm only 17 at the moment. I'm still in school, so it's the first role for me, which is quite exciting. And before, I've sung, but only in kind of choirs and solo pieces, nothing on this scale at all. And it was also my first time singing with an orchestra as a solo, so that's really exciting.
We're doing an arrangement by Richard Balcom, which is very much reduced wind and brass. There's just 10 players in total, plus myself at the keyboard. So single strings, 2 violins, viola, cello and a double bass, and then flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, and also a horn as well. And I have to say, it's a brilliant arrangement. It works in this version, and it makes it, I have to say, very intimate, which is perfect for this environment and this setting.